everybody. Quiet, listen to me.
Right now,
ladies and gentlemen,
it's showtime.
This is what it's all about.
Let's take it from here.
You're gonna dance until your feet fall off.
The new sensation of the nation, no doubt.
Make some noise out there!
Would you do a little something for a little party music?
Are you guys gonna, like, kick it old school?
That's changing. Oh, it's a country that's changing. It's a country that's changing. All the people, cause the people are leaving. It's a world that's deceiving. Oh, it's a world that's deceiving. It's a world that's deceiving. All the people, cause the people believing. The country rings the living bell, your last Belfast, Belfast. When they hate you and for one another's mouth, you can try, you can try, you can try, you can try, you can try to tell them the reason why. Belfast, Belfast, Belfast. When the children believe in. Children believe in, when the children believe in all the people, cause the people are leaving. When the people are leaving, when the people are leaving, when the people are leaving, all the children, cause the children believe in. Belfast, Belfast. The country rings the living bell, your last Belfast, Belfast. When they hate you and for one another's spouse, you can try, you can try, you can try, you can try, you can try to tell the world the reason why. Belfast, Belfast, gotta have a belief in. Belfast, gotta have a belief in, yeah. Belfast.
Tonight we have a special on Boney M. I was privileged to interview Marcia Barrett a few weeks ago, and she told us some great tales about Boney M, and we've got a 2-week special. Part 1 of the interview is going to be tonight, and then we'll have part 2 next week. Good evening, Carol. How are you?
Good evening, Wayne. I am fine, thank you, and welcome, listeners. I am so excited to be a part of this legendary group indeed. Belfast, the track that we just listened to, is the second single of the Euro disco band Boney M, 1977 album Love for Sale. Belfast was the first Boney M single to feature lead vocals by Marcia Barrett that we're interviewing tonight, and became their fourth consecutive German chart topper. In the UK singles chart, it peaked at number 8. It remained a popular track in the group's live shows over the years and was re-recorded by Marcia Barrett as a solo track on her album Come Into My Life of 2005. Belfast was written by Draffy Dutchseer and originally entitled Derry. The lyrics refer to the divided city during the height of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Legendary group. We have to, especially with the youth now. Boney M was a Euro-Caribbean vocal group created by German record producer Frank Farren, who served as the group's primary songwriter. Originally based in West Germany, the 4 original members of the group official lineup were Liz Mitchell and Marcia Barrett from Jamaica, Maisie Williams from Montserrat, and Bobby Farrell, a performing artist from Aruba. The group was formed in 1976 and achieved popularity during the disco era of the late 1970s. Since the 1980s, various lineups of the band have performed with different personnel. The band has sold around 80 million records worldwide and is known for international hits, including Daddy Cool, Ma Baker, Belfast, Sonny, Rasputin, Mary's Boy Child, Oh My Lord, and Rivers of Babylon. This is an amazing history, and excited that we have her on today.
Indeed. Right now, this is Marcia Barrett.
All along I've been working for a change to come. Lots of visions painted in my mind. Yeah. When I hear the music calling, I feel so alive. Pictures of you and me, but I can't seem to feel you. It's my life. It is sweet emotions caught up between two oceans, trying to make the river flow. It's my life. It is sweet emotions caught up between two oceans, trying to make the river flow. Now I'm stronger for the flight. Come what may, let it be done. Sometimes up, sometimes down, but I'll never be your clown. I'm on my feet again, and I've been moving on and on. I'm climbing for the mountain top, 'cause that's where I belong. It's my life. It is sweet emotions caught up between two oceans, trying to make the river flow. It's my life. It is sweet emotions caught up between two oceans, trying to make the river flow. It's my life. It is sweet emotions caught up
Love that track. Marcia Barrett, our guest on the show tonight, former lead singer with the legendary Boney M. 2 great tracks there, Carol.
Yes, Wayne, great track indeed. And June 2018 saw Marcia Barrett's biography, Forward, My Life with and Without Boney M, being published. A German edition of her biography was also published with the title Mehr Wiete Mein Leben mit and O Boney M. Amazing indeed.
Indeed. Now, I mentioned I had an interview with Marcia Barrett of Boney M a few weeks ago. We have interview part 1 coming up right now.
Hello there. My name is Marcia Barrett of Boney M, and you're listening to Disco Queen with Carol Jiani and Wayne DJC on the South Coast's favorite radio station, Hot Go.
I'm delighted to introduce not only a legend of the disco era, but one of the most talented, bravest, strongest human beings on the planet. Good evening, Marcia Barrett. Thank you for your time. How are you?
Oh, good evening. Good evening, Wayne. I'm fine, thank you. I'm very fine. I'm feeling great. And then having a chat with you. Wow.
Me too. I can't believe that I'm talking to a member of Boney M, because I've been a big fan of Boney M ever since I was very young.
Really?
Yes, because I first saw you perform on Top of the Pops when you were singing Belfast. And I went out and I brought that track and I play it all the time. I don't get sick of hearing it. It's one of my favourite tunes ever.
Well, I must thank you for your support. And then for so many years.
Yes, you are very welcome. Now, if I get my homework right, you were born in Jamaica, and you
yes, sir.
And you travelled to Great Britain in 1963, aged 13.
Yes, to join my mother.
And you had a school teacher called Miss Tetley.
Yes, my music teacher.
Indeed, and she was reason why you became so famous with Boney M. So we have.
Well, I think she helped me a lot.
Awesome.
Because she took us down to Sadler's Wells Theatre to watch some operas, and Carmen, Madame Butterfly, and La Traviata Theatre. And then, but she had a little problem with me because of the class of 30, and we were singing, the harmonies and all that. You said, Marcia, could you just take your voice down a little bit? And everybody's looking behind. I said, I always have a problem with my voice. But anyway, she was such a nice, gentle lady.
Awesome.
And I wish I knew where she is and if she's still with us,
And we have her to thank for your amazing voice, your amazing career.
Apparently my girlfriend, Elaine, the only girlfriend I had when I was going to school, she was at the time Elaine Tracy.
Yes.
She had met, sort of just bumped into Miss Tetley years ago on a bus, and she said, "Oh, Elaine, I'm getting married. Do you know where Marcia is?"
Wow.
So she said, "Marcia, don't you know? She's in this group called Boney M."
So she had no idea.
And Miss Tetley looked up and said, "Well, I'm not surprised."
Wow, what a great story.
And then Elaine went and sang at her wedding. Awesome.
I also hear you were contracted by Stigwood Organisation at the age of 19, which was...
Yeah, what a life, huh?
Indeed.
I was a good friend of Jackie Edwards. Jackie Edwards is like the Nat King Cole from Jamaica.
Yes.
A lovely man. He could sing and, I like that. So I became the only girl in a group of boys, like 6 men.
Yes.
Count Prince Miller and those, Dandy Livingstone from Jamaica. And I couldn't go out because I'm not a real party goer and all that. And then at the same time, at 19, I had my son already. At 16. So it wasn't anything like I was a party goer. But Jackie said, come on out with me tonight. I'm going to have a show at the Q Club.
Yes.
Parade Street. And I said, I would love to hear you sing. So here I was, and he picked me up with Dandy and in Peckham at the time, and drove me to Q Club, and it was awesome. It was awesome. He sang and sang and sang. Wow. Then I started to dance because I think I started with the dancing,
Yes. Yes.
And he said, "Well, you can dance, and really, maybe if you would you like to travel?" I said, "Of course, I'd love to travel. I'm adventurous, and with my work, if you can." So within months, it was like he spoke to one of the top guys there at Stigwood Organisation.
Yes,
and of course they had these discotheques in Germany called Top 10, not the one on the Reeperbahn, mind you, not that one. There was one on the outskirts of Hamburg.
Okay, yes.
In Hamburg, yeah. And that's where I started. I got the contract, and that was for about 4 months. and I danced my way into this business.
Wow, wow. And I hear that the DJ was called DJ Uwe, and he was playing
Uwe. Yes.
And he was playing "Oh Happy Day," and you sang it.
Yes, and I was sort of fed up, like people were. It was crowded. This discotheque was really fantastic with swimming pool outside back in those days, and then people could eat their little wursts,
yes,
and currywurst and so forth. And it was a nice crowd, and the people could, sit on tables, sit around, and it was really elegant. And then when it's dancing time, this Mr. Papstorff, he had other groups too, not only me. He had other groups. He had about 3 to 4 different groups, dance groups, and they got on, danced together, and I was a newcomer.
Wow.
So I was sitting. It wasn't my time to go on the floor or whatever. But oh, happy day. And I walked up beside Uwe, took away the microphone, and then started to sing along with the track.
Wow.
And the people stopped and applauded.
Wow, what a great story. What a great story indeed.
Great. It's like a fairy tale, isn't it?
We heard Rasputin. Wow. This was released on the 28th of August, 1978, as the second single from their third studio album, Night Flight to Venus. The song describes Rasputin as a playboy, mystical healer, and a political manipulator. The song rose to the top of the charts in Germany and Austria and went to number 2 in the United Kingdom and Switzerland. It was also another number 1 hit for Boney M in Australia, giving them their second and last chart topper in that country, the other one being Rivers of Babylon. These were great songs. I mean, Boney M just had classics after classics after classics. Great era indeed.
We've got part 2 of the interview with Marcia Barrett coming up straight after this. This is another one of her tracks. It's called Seeing is Believing.
I heard the phone rang in the wee of the night. I thought it was you calling, but I was mistaken. Now, why you lied to me when you told me you were working late last night? Oh, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Oh, yeah.
After 5 years as a soloist, you were
Yeah.
then given a chance to join Boney M. I believe that's when you auditioned for Boney M.
Yes, that was one of them. I had shows as Marcia Barrett, Die Schönheit aus Jamaica. So that's what the Germans call me.
Okay.
Schöne Schokolade from Jamaica. So I like that. And I even had a TV show, Shao Buddha, different TV shows.
Yes.
And I was singing, I can't remember. Yeah, This Could Be Love track. And applause. So that grew into a nice little roush in the air for the agents and stuff like that. you know.
Yes.
So then this producer heard of me and Mr. Menke, Joe Menke, and he was in Hamburg Machine. And then he liked my voice, and we were working there. And he was also a very nice man. He was like a father figure. And I felt so comfortable there. And he treated me really nice.
Yes.
Yes. And then one day he said he was going, we have to find the right song for you, Marcia. We have to. And so I patched up this Could Be Love track in about 10, 15 minutes. And he said, oh, nicht schlecht, in German. And I said, oh, no, that was only quickly, And he said, no, put it down. So we put it down, Could Be Love. And today when I see that sleeve, I thought to myself, well, you have to start somewhere. And then he brought in his partner, Travis, well, a singer, famous singer back then, here in Germany, Travis Deutsche. And he said, Travis, let's write a song around the London Dairy issue and something for Marcia. So it started with London Dairy.
Yes.
But it didn't rhyme too well and so forth. And they said, let's call it Belfast.
Wow. That's where the song originated from.
Yes.
Wow.
So it was written for me and we recorded it and put it on my playback, reel-to-reel playback, half playback shows I used to do. And that was in the repertoire with all the cover tracks from Dusty Springfield, I Counted from 10 and blah, blah. And so I can't remember I haven't got it in front of me now, but I could have given it. It's written down somewhere, my repertoire back then. And the show was fantastic. But each time I sang this Belfast in Germany, the people went wild.
Indeed. I imagine.
So after I was in Hamburg and I heard that this lady was coming to meet me to more or less select if I was worth meeting from foreign in Saarbrücken. She said, well, I don't really have to join a group, I don't think I'll work out very well. You think that you have already a solo career. So, but then I said to myself, you know what? You never know. This could be your big chance. Can you imagine that? So I went and I met Frank Farry, and it was planned. And he had Stefan Klinkhammer, the arranger,
yes,
who was in Saarbrücken. He lived in the same town like Frank. And so I thought, well, I was going to a studio for him to test my voice or what he wanted to hear. But no, I went to Klinkhammer's home, and in his living room, he had this piano. And then he started playing, sing that. Those are my fingers, by the way. And then I said, oh, I can sing this one from that and, old songs.
Yes.
And then I said, oh, let me sing this one, Belfast. And he go, So after that took about, I would say around about 10 minutes. Frank looked around and with his hand at it, he said, yeah, that will do. I said, listen to me now inside, blimey, if that's all. But never mind, I'll give it a try. No emphasis, no, nothing at all. Just, that will do. And up until this day, I find that very funny. But it was all right. It gave me and that was my entry into the Boney M gang.
Wow. And together with you, Liz, Maisie, and
Yes, well,
Bobby.
That's another story with Liz. Whilst I was in Hamburg, because I had a little flat there, a little one-room thing. And because I was more or less on and off dating when I was in Germany, And this weekend, I said, I want to stay. Usually every weekend he's going to visit his family in Cuxhaven, and I wasn't really up to it. So I went to this lovely club and just to sit down and have a little drink. And before you knew it, I heard this voice beside me and said, "Hello, are you Marcia Barrett?" I said, "Yes, who are you?" She said, "My name is Liz Mitchell." So I said, "Oh," she was very warm. And she said, "Guess what? Why don't you come over and sit with us? My other two sisters are with me." And, so I went over and it was a lovely evening. And that's when I met Liz.
That is part 2 of my interview with Marcia Barrett from Boney M. Part 3 and 4 coming up in hour 2. We're going to carry on with another track from Marcia. This is called The Sun.
Where are you? Here comes the sun again. Where are you? Here comes the sun.
When he walks into the room and every heart goes boom, he's like a symphony. Believe me, the way he walks and the way he talks, he must be heaven sent. And when he stands up by my side, my life is looking bright. He will be the only one. And when the stars are shining bright, their beams are guiding light, and all the clouds are gone. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Whatever you're afraid of, she will not hesitate. She strikes back again when your life is full of fear. She stands up in your near, and in the darkest night, she shines a guiding light, and all the fears are gone. And when the rain falls down apart, she opens up her heart, and all the clouds are gone. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Today we'll catch some fun. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun. And today we'll catch some fun. Here comes the sun, the sun, the sun.
Totally loving that track. Marcia Barrett, The Sun.
Loved Marcia Barrett's survival track, Seeing is Believing. This was released on the 6th of March 2009, followed by I Don't Know Why, while her third solo album, Strange Rumors, had been announced to follow. The album was put on hold when she was hit by another bout of cancer. You know, she goes on to talk about this. You know, 1978, Rivers of Babylon, it was a cover of a track by the Melodians, with lyrics partly based on Psalm 137 and partly on Psalm 19, became at the time the second highest selling single of all time in the UK after remaining at #1 for 5 weeks. Time flies when you're having fun.
We got part 3 and part 4 of our interview with Marcia Barrett. Don't go away, we'll be back to hour 2 of tonight's Disco Queen. It's just gone 7 o'clock. You're in the company of myself, Wayne, DJC, and the legend that is Carol Jiani.
You know, I love Daddy Cool. What a classic. You know, this was a 1976 hit and a staple of disco music, and became Boney M's first hit in the United Kingdom. Produced and co-written by the group's founder, Frank Barrett, who also provided the male voice parts on the record. It was the second Boney M single released, as I said, in 1976, without making any major impact at first, but after a spectacular performance on the Music Aladdin TV show in September of that year, the single became a hit, topping most of the European charts. It reached #6 in the UK charts, #65 in the United States, Billboard Hot 100, and the single also topped the German charts and reached top 20 in Canada. It proved to be a major European breakthrough
Frank
for the
Barrett auditioned me.
Mm-hmm.
This is all pre that. So then afterwards, Liz, about a week went or so, or 2 weeks, and she called because I'm very skeptical about girls. I am not the girly type, you know.
Okay. Yes.
Because I have better things to discuss than makeup and which dress to put on, and I am actually a loner.
Okay.
You know.
Yes.
When it comes to my dressing or whatever, I had confidence, you know. And when she said, "Oh, meet," I said, "Okay." So I took the invitation, and I went to visit Liz. It was a very warm evening. They even cooked white rice and mackerel, and I ate my share. And you know, that style I didn't really like, but I was polite, and I had that. And some other friends came around, and that's when I felt uncomfortable because too many people were coming in.
Okay.
Anyway, I had I was very polite, and I said to her, "This is very nice. Well, let's keep in touch," you know.
Mm-mm.
I went my way, and had no intention to really see Liz in any event of meeting again and so forth, you know.
Yes. And
but until this lady came down and met me, and I had the job. She went, "Oh, come, we need." Frank said, No, I need another girl. And I said, "I don't know." I had another girlfriend in Mashing called Donnie. She wanted to sing gospel. And then I had another girlfriend, Millie, and she is also from Jamaica. She's a good singer, good pop singer. And but she was married then to a German man, and still is. Thank God. They were into contract and so forth. And it seemed as if that was a little bit too complicated for the lady, Katia Wolf, who was, vouching for Frank. So I said, Millie, and then I said, "Oh, by the way, I did meet this other girl. Her name is Liz Mitchell." And so she said, "Have you got the number? And then I said, "Well, the only number I have is this one. But I think she's gone back to London because nothing is really happening here in Germany for her as a backup singer or in the group she was with her boyfriend, Malcolm Locks, and so on. And then there was this English guy who had a group, can't even remember right now, but I'll come back to it.
Yes.
Les Humphreys, yes. And when you see Les Humphreys, it was like a big choir group, like I would say 24 people, and everybody was up there singing and clapping hands and so forth. But Liz wasn't singing no lead role or anything like lead song, as she emphasizes so much on the Boney one.
Yes.
Anyway, I said, this the girl. So I said, look, by the time I gave Katia Wolf Liz's number, she did ring. And then before I knew it, they said, yeah, Liz is Suruk, not London. I said, oh, she's back to London. Oh, I see. So she did go back to London. But it was arranged that she'd come over and Frank to meet. And that's when Liz came into Boney M.
Wow. So you introduced Liz to Boney M.
Yes, but she never said it publicly. So I don't know why.
Wow.
But that's a story.
What an amazing
because don't forget, Frank had this Do You Want a Bump on the Market? He made just, like a instrumental with just woo,
Yes.
Top with the Jamaican Oscar type. And he goes, Do you want a bump?
I remember.
Yeah, you remember. So of course, that track was a hit in Holland. And I said, well, why don't you go and do it? He said, nay, no. He had heard from the same Catcher Wolf that Bobby and Maisie, Bobby was a dancer, disc jockey in a discotheque in Hanover.
Okay.
And then Maisie and another girl who's going out now as Boney M, Shala Monique, she goes around and tell people that she's a Boney M member. And she was a girlfriend. You wouldn't like to know what a carnival is out here now. So she was Maisie's friend in the disco. And Frank chose Maisie. I don't know when they met, but Frank said, okay. I think they even took photos, Shala and Maisie. And then there was this other girl called Claudia Barry.
Yes.
She was living in Canada, rather tall and everything. And she came in, but she said, I've got my solo career in Canada. I think I'll go back to Canada and so forth,
Yes.
Then we did one playback show here in Berlin and half playback. And then I told her, she said, no, that's it for me. That's it. I'm going back. I said, okay, I'll check it out. So then by the time the TV show came up, it was Maisie, Bobby, and myself. There was no Liz yet. You see?
Yes.
So it was all after Do You Want to Bump with us three in Holland with the TV show. Then Liz came.
Awesome story.
And then from then on, Liz and Marcia Barrett in studio, everything, all harmonies, all the songs, Daddy Cool, Take the Heat Off Me album, and so forth. Everything is the same method he used. Because I remember when Frank started, we started on a 24 track. That's my style of recording. I love that. You have your own tracks.
Yes.
And eventually, when you see things are coming up and the hits are coming in, they had moved to a 48 track. Now, I don't know how many tracks he has. So things became easier and all that. But everybody, but Liz had her tracks there. Even if it's the same harmony, everybody and Marcia had her tracks there. So when we left studio, I don't know what Frank did, and I didn't care, actually. I did my job. And that was that. So that will at least give you the picture of what happened.
You were one of the most important Euro disco acts in the 1970s and the 80s.
Yes, my dear. We started off Donna Summer, and everything was going on. It was great. So I think that was a big influence on Frank's what he thought. And it was right. It was right, because then when Sonny came, it had that, the rest is actually history, but I could go into a little more details if you want.
Unfortunately, we lost Bobby in 2010. I was very shocked by his passing.
Well, my dear, that was a blow, because I came back over. I was battling for my life, how many years with cancer. And each time I got on my feet, I was always thinking, I was in Florida then because I had built a home there because it's near Jamaica for my mother. You know, I was taking care of my mother and my son. And by the way, do you know what the name of my son is?
I don't know.
Wayne.
Wow, what a great lady. And to think that my name is the same as Marcia Barrett's son, Carol.
Yes, small world, absolutely amazing. It's amazing the history, you know, with Claudia Barry. It's great doing this show because we have to understand behind the scenes of how hard everyone worked and the sacrifices that were made. You know, you mentioned to me while this is playing, Gotta Go Home is such an uplifting song. Yes, it is. It was a double-sided single by the group Boney M. It was the lead single from their fourth album, Oceans of Fantasy, in 1979, and was the group's eighth and final #1 single in the German charts in the UK, where Gotta Go Home was chosen as the main A-side. The single was their first one since their debut single not to reach the top 10, but peaking at number 12. Boney M used the double A-side format over the next years, typically with the A1 being the song intended for radio and A2 being more squarely aimed at discos. The sides were usually switched on the accompanying 12-inch single. In 2010, Gotta Go Home, believe it or not, was sampled on the Dark Sauce dance hit, Barbra Streisand. Amazing history indeed.
Wayne is my son's name.
Wow. Wow.
Isn't that something else when I hear, oh, Wayne, and it spells the same way. So now you know I have a son called Wayne.
I feel honoured to have the same name as your son.
Isn't that fantastic? He's Wayne Anthony.
Indeed, indeed.
DeMercado. Yes, I mean, it's a small world, but, you know, it's just one of those things because I admired John Wayne. You know, back then you're kids, you'll have a little Western and so forth.
Wow.
So when everything came on me, all of a sudden I said, Wayne. And I said, boy, that's Wayne. Because I didn't even, going back to that, I didn't even know I was pregnant when I was going to school. Oh, God.
Wow.
That's another story. I've written my book.
Mm-mm.
And everything is in the book. And the book is called Forward.
Awesome. I was going to ask if you had an autobiography out.
But of course, you didn't know about that, Wayne.
No, I was going to ask.
Well, this book is called Forward. And my co-writer, the journalist, is called Lloyd Bradley.
Mm-mm.
And it's a beautiful read. You know, it's on Amazon, it's in everywhere. It should be in England, actually, you know, because this Little Brown is a publisher. Little Brown, you can bring up if they still exist. And this came out in 2018. I'm still hoping that somebody could pick it up and, you know, offer me some film or documentary or something like that. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Because it's a story and a half. One should really get it.
Yes.
And it's my true story, my time with and without Boney M.
You deserve it.
Yes, and guess what? I even have a German version, which is called Immer Weiter for the Germans, because Boney M is the Germans' number one.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the producer, naturally. Maybe not because of it. Later on, they think, oh my God, where are these four coming from with the costumes and all that? So they really dig us.
You featured on Top of the Pops quite a few times with all your
Yes, but
your
guess
hits.
what? Did you know that Boney M took longer to break in Britain?
Really?
Yes. Belfast wasn't even played on the radio in London, in England. Yes, my dear, and it still got to number 7.
I always remember
maybe
it
because of political. I don't know, because I'm not.
Maybe yes, maybe because of the troubles in Ireland.
No, you wouldn't hear Belfast on the radio in Britain, and I don't know how it is now. I'm sure you still don't hear it.
I play it. I play it. I play.
You have to play.
Yes. I play it on Disco Queen. We played it a couple of weeks ago, and it will be featured again.
The Brits didn't get to hear it at all.
I always remember the performance on Top of the Pops, your costumes, the trumpets.
Yes, what did we have on?
Yep, the colour green sticks in my mind.
Green is a favorite colour. I can't remember. I have to look at some old photos.
Amazing.
But Top of the Pops, it was fantastic because I'm saying, wow, if we get on Top of the Pops, we are breaking the ice here in England.
Indeed.
And so we did, didn't we?
Of the two songs, only Rivers of Blue, penned by the group's drummer Keith Forsey, was included and in a 1 or 2 minute edit, depending on the pressing. You know, I love Marcia. She's so old school, disciplined, speaks her mind. I've had an amazing time listening to the interview. She is so funny. And the amazing history. And of course, Elaine and Ellen, Fill Me Up. This was released in 1979. It's amazing because all these songs that we're listening to, imagine that era, but it still feels like it was yesterday. We should bring it all back.
Indeed. And Marcia introduced Liz to Boney M as well.
Yes, absolutely amazing. You know, we must always, I say, you know, give credit where credit is due. She is so right. And I would like to take this opportunity to also say thank you so much, Sean O'Shea, for listening. Artist, marketing and communications director, music lover, cancer and a 6-way heart bypass survivor. Thank you so much, Sean O'Shea, for the amazing poster for Disco Queen. And thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, Marcia, for speaking your mind. It is the best way to be. But, you know, this is legendary. These are classics, songs after one hit after the other.
Big shout going out to Sean for a great job on the poster and for also arranging the interview with Marcia. We have more interview with Marcia coming up in front of that TV. I believe I was 12, 13.
Yeah. And did you like it?
I did. And I brought that single. I still own that single and I still play that single.
Isn't it great? With all of that, that's coming back, isn't it?
Yes.
The record.
Rasputin's been sampled recently.
I know, my dear. Thank God to TikTok.
Exactly. Yes.
To the young people. Young people, go out and get Rasputin.
Yes, it's a great version.
No, the good thing is the same. Good thing about it, I don't know if Frank didn't mix or what, but it's the same. The good thing is with us that the parents. Of course, you must be a parent too.
No, I'm not.
Not yet. I
have a partner of 30 years.
Okay.
We have dogs. We don't have children.
Oh, dogs are great. Don't let me get into that now. Dogs are, because Marcus and I don't have any kids. Okay. So we had one. Oh, don't let me get into dogs. I love dogs.
We've always had dogs here.
Oh, fantastic. Well, when I'm in a flat now, I wouldn't like to take care of the dogs. But back in Florida, you know, with the big space and living on the water,
yes,
catching fish to eat and all that, that was
awesome.
But so forth. So anyway, these fans from Boney M back then are telling their kids, and maybe even now their grandkids, and they're loving it.
Indeed.
And dancing to it.
The songs are timeless. Every Boney M song is a timeless
That's the
classic.
word, Wayne. That's the word, timeless.
Timeless. And you don't get bored of hearing any of the tracks. I could play them all day on repeat, and I just love every track that you produced.
Fantastic. I love it. I love to hear this because we actually had fun in studio. Liz and I and Frank, we were laughing away, especially with that Rasputin. We said, Rasputin, wow, the Rasputin. And then when you go out and you're performing, everybody's trying to do the Kazachok. I said, no, I won't try that and do that. But you know what I make it up with that I have dancers on my show when I travel. There's a female dancer and a male dancer.
Yes.
And nobody knows. We just got and started and they just rush on stage and start to give theater dancing they do, you know.
Yes.
And it's fantastic. It's if I might modestly say so, my Boney M show is the best because it's professional. Yes. Bobby is not there anymore, unfortunately. Yes. You know, I mean, that was a shock.
There was a lot of talk about Bobby not singing on any track, but I now believe that was just hearsay. It was hearsay, and he did.
No. Bobby wasn't in studio. It was Frank that did that voice.
But live, if you were live on stage, he would sing. Is that correct?
Well, there's practice. Sometimes he's a bit flat.
Okay.
I always stood beside him, as you can see. I'm on the left side of Bobby, aren't I?
Yes,
or
yes.
right?
Yes.
No, left. Left when you're looking on TV. Yes. The tall, lovely-eyed one.
Yes. I remember your dreadlocks. That sticks in my
well, these
mind.
always it was braids.
Braids, yes.
Yeah, my hairdresser. She's still alive. She's so lovely.
Wow.
Sylvia Edwards. And we would sit there at Root Salon, because I had even a cover for Root Salon in London. I don't know if they exist now.
Yes.
And she used to sit there for hours, the whole afternoon, and just braid away. And
wow.
It was very elegant, and I enjoyed that.
Yes, yes.
Until afterwards, after years, the front was sort of receding, and I didn't like to have that. So I sort of took the front out and just wore the back, and everything was superb. You don't have to think about hairstyles when you're traveling that much.
Yes.
Like I did with Boney M, and oh dear, you don't know, that was like in a army, I suppose.
Yes. And can I ask how you coped with traveling? Because obviously you traveled the world. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
I loved traveling. And as long as it was planned in time, and it's like a routine when you're on tour or whether you are just going on TV.
Yes.
We fly from Germany and go to Timbuktu for TV, like Brazil and Chile and such places. And I can't even name them right now. But as you said, travel the world, just a one TV spot. Oh, let me tell you something. We even went to America.
Yes.
For the Soul Train.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You know what listen to this. You know what Soul Train is? It's a black show they can dance so beautifully.
Indeed.
And they have real funk and real R&B. Did you know what song Boney M went to America with? It's a holly holiday.
Okay, yes.
I was so embarrassed. I thought, oh no. So these black Americans are looking at us, have to say, oh, but nicely though, not bad looks. Where are these people from? How? Oh, and they weren't even dancing as well. It was so funny.
It was Caribbean music.
Yes. But, well, of course, a lot of Caribbean people are with Caribbean backgrounds are in America. But still, we could have gone over there. If it's even with Do You Want to Bump?
Yes.
But I hate the bump. I don't like people bumping on my bottom.
There used to be a dance routine for the bump. I remember it in all the clubs I used to go to as a child. Everyone was bumping.
I couldn't wait. There was one show, I think it was in Spain, and they played that song, and I'm going, oh man, couldn't they just stop this? Bobby was killing himself with laugh because I'm here. He's hearing all my comments, and I was saying, oh, this song, I wish I could stop it now. I'm fed up of this bump is going nowhere from me, and I'm quarreling, and I'm still, smiling. But the show must go on, and you have to do it.
Indeed.
But anyway, we did a Diane Carroll show, and we did Merv Griffin, and Soul, and Dinosaur or something like that. I can't remember.
Yes. There we go. That is the final part of this week's interview with Marcia Barrett. We have more interview coming up next week. We have a part 2 on Marcia Barrett. Great interview, great tracks, Carol.
Oh my God, she's so funny. I almost choked on my coffee that I was drinking when she talks about Soul Train. And when she talks about traveling, from America to Timbuktu and the whole hair thing. It is so funny. It is so funny. And I assume the song she was talking about, what, I Ain't Go Bump No More With No Big Fat Woman? Is that the song?
No, it was another track called The Bump.
Really? Oh my God. So funny. Absolutely amazing. Great interview. I'm looking forward to part 2 now. And we mustn't forget Ma Baker's a song by obviously the group, legendary Boney M, released as a single in 1977. It was the first single of their second album, Love for Sale, and their third consecutive chart topper in Germany. The song was a huge success in Europe, topping the charts in many countries there. It was a number 2 hit in the UK, only surpassed by Donna Summer's I Feel Love. In the US, the song only reached number 96. Amazing history indeed.
Indeed. We have come to the end of another show, Carol. It's been another great show.
Yes, absolutely amazing. It's amazing. You mean time has flown because we had so much fun. I'm looking forward to part 2. Marcia, you are so funny, and I'm looking forward to more stories and laughter. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening, and stay safe, guys.
Indeed. Stay safe. We'll be back same time, same place for another Disco Queen on Hot Gold next week.